The championship battle has tightened up after last week's calamity in Norway, with Argentina's Marcos Palacio winning comfortably and points leader Josh Mertz in third. The points gap has shrunk to just 3. However, consistent podiums win championships, as the Irishman is well aware of. The International Cup concludes and there is no shortage of quick names in tonight's field, so we wonder what will happen in Barcelona. We'll find out together tonight. NASA Rallycross Lites from Spain is next. Our venue for this evening is virtual Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Opened in 1991, North American Simulated Auto Racing started visiting this circuit in 2021B, and this is the first visit of the lights here. A nice 0.69 miles in length with 10 corners in total, 4 to the right and 6 to the left. We utilize the final sector of the Grand Prix circuit. The lap begins going in reverse of that Grand Prix track, flat out around turn 13, down to the tricky off-camber turn number 12. A tight and winding right, left, right chicane begins the first dirt section to a very technical hairpin. We transition back to asphalt here. Yellow curb on the exit of turn 5 is track limits, and we blast back up the Grand Prix track in the correct direction until a right-hand hairpin in the second dirt section. Over the jump, back out onto the asphalt to the Joker decision. Here in Barcelona, it is a slower lap, just slightly, but you do get a better run to the first couple of corners exiting the Joker. For the regular course, it's around the corner of turn 10, past the start-finish line, and that completes a lap here in Spain. Our format for NASA Rallycross is as follows. 18 cars will be split into 4 heat races of 6 laps apiece. Joker lap once. The top 2 will transfer as the winner gets 3 bonus points and the runner-up gets 2. The rest of our competitors will be funneled into the semi-final 5-lap Joker lap once races. Those winners will transfer and receive 1 bonus point. This sets the grid for the 10-car, 10-lap feature race where the points are awarded and trophies are handed out. And unique to NASA Rallycross, 2 Jokers are taken during the feature. The second season of NASA Rallycross Lites continues tonight on the Automotive Sports Network. With Bryan, Sawyer in the production truck, it's Josh Mertz up in the commentary box, as always, for the Automotive Sports Network as we welcome you to Barcelona, Spain. Remember, our cameras for the entire season are provided by TrackCams22.com, and our intro music was produced by our very own Alex Abetti. Coming into this evening's race, Josh Mertz has a 3-point lead over Marcos Palacio and a further 3-point advantage over Cody Crosgrove in the 18. Sitting in 4th is Bryan Sawyer, 5th, Eric Kaplinger. What's not good news for Palacio and Sawyer and Crosgrove is that JC Simsport 1-2 in seeding. Magnus Okenhaug, 42.638. Defending champion Mertz in car number 1, 42.903. Only 2 cars in the 42-second bracket as Kellogg, Palacio, Crosgrove, Morissette, Sawyer, Grove, Rakowski, Kaplinger, Robbie Kirtley, Jake Robichaux, Eric Dubois, Gerald DeFino, Joey DeGiacomo, Francois Martel, and Olivier Rateau rounded out that order. Heat number 1 getting ready to go. Magnus, Crosgrove, Rakowski, Dubois, Olivier Rateau for the first 6 laps here in Barcelona. Green flag, off the line. Even start for the front row. Even start for the back row. Down to the first corner. Leading is Magnus. Checks Crosgrove with no contact. Rakowski third. Dubois, Rateau. Into the dirt for the first time here in Barcelona. Such a tricky corner to get right. Third gear, hug the Armco on driver's right, avoid the wall on driver's left as we go over the jump for the first time. Magnus leads Cody Crosgrove, Rakowski, Dubois, and Rateau. No Joker on the start here in Barcelona. You have to wait until you begin the first lap like Daytona and Knockhill. And that running order has not changed, of course. Magnus making his debut here in Lites. Running a couple rounds for JC Simsport. Going to focus on that supercar program, but the Norwegian, faster than his defending champion teammate. Thought Eric Dubois had something to say there over the scanner. And Crosgrove showing pace in supercars and in Lites. The Canadian having great pace, finishing second last week with that Wonderful duel between him and Josh Mertz. They were behind Marcos Palacio after Bryan Sawyer got disqualified. No joker on the first lap for the top two. Rakowski does in the 999. Dubois passes her in the rotation. Rateau still in the back of the field. First lap time. Not really representative, but we always know how I go over them anyways. 1 minute 13.0 for Magnus, 14.1 for Cosgrove, and Magnus second faster than Cosgrove. And we'll take a look. Once we come around to finish the second lap, we'll get some accurate lap times. Dubois hanging on to the top two in the third spot, as Rakowski did take the joker. Olivier Rateau clipped the wall in the back of the field. As let's take a look and see. Back up front, Magnus enters the asphalt in the back half of the track, goes to the joker lap. Cosgrove does not, so we'll take a look. Where does Magnus come out? Battling with Dubois, holds the spot over the 0.34. And now Dubois, wondering if Magnus and Cody are going to squabble. That might open the door for him for Ziem's setup shot. But Magnus already has clawed the gap back from Cosgrove. Once again, Dubois thought he had something to say, keyed up. To the inside goes Magnus on Cosgrove. That'll be the outside for the corner. Does a little switchback, car length between them. In turn number 5, Magnus better line at the end of the corner. Both misses the curb, both miss the wall. And you have to make sure that car is basically turning before you jump, unless you want to end up in any sort of tires. Cosgrove jokers. Dubois does not, so will there be a battle? Let's look at Rakowski. Rakowski nearly, she does not get the spot over Cosgrove as we take cross flags halfway in heat number 1. So the joker rotation has unraveled. And now, Eric Dubois... He has not jokered, my apologies there. Thought he did, and I was really confused for a minute, so Dubois has not jokered. He does not have a delta. So we'll just have to wait and see if Rakowski can catch Cosgrove with these last couple laps remaining. Olivier Rateau had a qualifying ban for the incident in Norway last week, so the elder Frenchman, the elder Rateau, as remember Romain not participating this season. Dubois, no joker yet in the 0.34. This is going to be Rakowski's. He's going to be best friends with Rakowski, I should say, because Dubois, no disrespect, a little lower on pace than Cosgrove, and he is holding up the Canadian. If I'm Jess Rakowski, focus, hit your marks. As I say that, into the tire wall. But 44.869 for the last lap, 44.1 for Cosgrove, but that was when he really didn't catch up to the back of Dubois. Dubois over the sausage curve on the exit of turn 5. If you're all 4 off, it'll be a slowdown, but it doesn't look like he got one here. And this is what Rakowski wants. Like I said, to the inside goes Cosgrove on Dubois. Dubois still has to joker. The man from Maine, hoping for something to go on between the two cars behind him, and he has to joker. And he will take that on this lap. So we take the white flag. Magnus pulling away. Last lap was a 44.4. Put that into perspective. Cosgrove was a 45.829. Rakowski 45.896. So Dubois will comfortably be in the 4th spot. But Rakowski has the strategic pole position, if you want to call it that, for the semifinal. If she can hang on in these last couple of corners. Haven't missed anything up front, like I said. Magnus Okenhaug pulling away. Fastest in seating, and it looks like he will get another pole position for JC Simsport and NASA Rallycross Lites to join his team owner, who had that honor in Scotland. Final corner for Magnus. Rounding the corner, he wins Heat 1, pole position here in Spain. Final corner for Cody Cosgrove. He will transfer. Best of the rest, Rakowski, Dubois, and Olivier Rateau. Heat 2, gridding up. Gerald DeFino, Eric Kaplinger on the back row, Josh Mertz, Joey Morissette on the front row of the grid. 2 JC Simsport cars, struggle bus, and an 845 Subi. Another 6 laps here in Barcelona. Green flag off the line. Kaplinger gets a better jump than the JC cars. Mertz comes over, and around goes Kaplinger and DeFino. Between the 2 JC Simsport cars, Mertz pulling away from Morissette in the 85. Mertz came over like Kaplinger wasn't there. And now, looks like this race has unfortunately already been settled between that accident in turn one with Mertz and Morissette. DeFino third, Kaplinger in fourth as Mertz takes the first lap of the race in car number one. His teammate Morissette sits in second, the 85 Magnus, just won heat number one, pole position here in Spain. So it's going to be a duel between these teammates. As Mertz pulling away from Morissette. Looks like Mertz is stopping. He's going to let Kaplinger through, it looks like. So, new gentleman agreement in NASA Sim Racing. If you crash someone and you think it's your fault, police yourself and let them by. So the defending champion will be in fourth. He is out at the moment here in Barcelona. So we'll have to keep an eye on car number one through this heat race. Still a long way to go, of course. And we don't know the damage on Kaplinger or DeFino. Both of them had pretty hefty whacks to both ends of their Volkswagens. And it looks like DeFino is crab walking at the end of the first lap. Morissette leads, and he took the Joker. So he is out and away from these three cars. Mertz Joker's in car number one. So take his strategy out of it. So we'll see if the defending champion can make it. It's been quite some time since he has not made a feature in NASA Rallycross. If you exclude that final season on iRacing in 2020A, it had probably been since 2017 that he has missed a feature. So we'll just have to wait and see. Long way to go, like we mentioned last lap. The first lap time for Morissette was a 1 minute 20. That was his Joker as it begins to count the lap as soon as the green flag drops. More realistic, 43.895. DeFino Joker, so does Kaplinger. So where is Mertz in this scenario? He's going to get between them. So Kaplinger will have the run off of the corner. Will Mertz defend down to turn number two? Kaplinger closing. Thought about it. Mertz closed the door. 43.897 for Mertz. 49.8 for DeFino. 43.8 for Morissette. So Mertz and Morissette on equal lap times. DeFino in the 845 took his Joker. He's ahead on strategy as Mertz took his Joker on the first opportunity here in Barcelona. DeFino way out wide in the 845, trying to defend into the wall as he does have that suspension damage. Over the jump, Morissette takes cross flags up ahead, not missing anything up there. Mertz sneaks to the inside of DeFino and put the defending champion clear of the 845 and back into a transfer spot. So crucial to get this. DeFino looks to the inside, though. He's not done on the one. One looks to pull away. Car length between them. And now I think it'll be a battle between Kaplinger and DeFino. Kaplinger sneaking into the picture. His last lap, he was half a second up on DeFino. Out front, Morissette at a 44.873. Mertz ran a 45.0 on that last lap. So we'll take a look at lap times and see what Morissette runs as he ends lap 4, begins 2 laps to go. 44.595 for Joey Morissette, the man from Kansas. Mertz from Ireland, 44.595. They ran exactly the same lap times, did the JC Sim Sport cars. 45.1 for DeFino, 44.9 for Kaplinger. And I can't get over those teammates running identical down to the 100th of a second, the 1,000th of a second, exact lap times. DeFino and Kaplinger, this battle still getting spicy. To the inside goes Kaplinger on DeFino. This will be for the outside pole in one of the semifinals, I do believe. As Morissette's going to take the white flag. Kaplinger to the inside of DeFino. DeFino holds the spot with more of a wounded car than Kaplinger. Kaplinger into the tires in the 277 for the struggle bus. Running it wide is DeFino. They've got one lap to get this battle for third. And like we've mentioned over the last 11 years, anything can happen in NASA Rallycross, and every spot and every lap is raced like it is the last lap for the win. DeFino was 0.2 down, then Kaplinger, 0.2 slower, I should say. Just an update between the teammates, 44.5 for Mertz, 44.6 for Morissette. But Morissette has been out front since that incident in lap number 1, turn number 1. And DeFino might hold this. He's got a couple corners left, but he's looking really good over Kaplinger. Final corner for Joey Morissette. Outside pole here in Barcelona. So it's going to be an JC Simsport lockout of the front row. And Mertz will transfer best of the rest DeFino over Kaplinger. My bad. Heat number 3 here in Barcelona. Josh Clogg, Bryan Sawyer front row, back row, Robbie Kirtley, and Joseph DeGiacomo. So another 845 Subi car. Kirtley for Zine Setup Shop, Josh Clogg, a privateer in this series, and Bryan Sawyer for the struggle bus. 6 laps, Joker once. Green flag, off the line. Good start for Clogg. He beats Sawyer down to the first corner. Sawyer still hangs out on the outside. Clogg runs it wide, clears the 88. Nearly over the curb, track limit, should be okay. Into the second corner there. Clogg leads Sawyer. Kirtley deep into the corner, gets passed by DeGiacomo. This is going to be a great battle, it looks like, for best of the rest and for the win, judging on the pace from seeding. To begin the first lap, Josh Clogg leads over Bryan Sawyer, defending Supercar champion Clogg in the 199, and Bryan Sawyer in the 88. DeGiacomo and Kirtley in the back of the field. DeGiacomo locks it up, opens the door for Kirtley. Clogg runs it wide, gets past, contact actually between him and Sawyer. I thought Sawyer was going to sneak past on the outside, couldn't make it happen. And those two squabbling have opened the door for DeGiacomo and Kirtley. Sawyer all over the track exiting turn 5 and back up the hill once again. Into 6. Sawyer much neater through the corner, but it looked like Clogg's going to get a better run over the jump. Let's see who will joker at the first opportunity in heat number 3. Sawyer does. So does DeGiacomo. Kirtley does not. Kirtley will come out in front of Sawyer. Will Sawyer have the run off the joker? We'll have to see. Or will Kirtley let him by? He was on driver's left there for a moment. Down to the corner. And what Sawyer doesn't want is to get stuck behind the man from Virginia for any longer than he has to. Kirtley hits the wall. Sawyer gives him a little nudge. And Clogg loves this up front because if Sawyer's hung up behind Kirtley for much longer, it's going to affect the delta. Exiting the corner, contact between them, and it shoves Kirtley wide in the 024. And he got to slow down for that one. So DeGiacomo will go back by him in the 55. And that's going to kill Kirtley as he has not jokered yet. Clogg does. So let's take a look at the rotation between the two race leaders. Will Clogg get passed by Sawyer? He will in the 88. Clogg will have the run off of the joker, though. Looks to the inside on Sawyer, down the straightaway into turn number 2. As we haven't even taken cross flags, Clogg runs it wide, over under. Sawyer thought of it, couldn't get the car to stick to the track. Clogg runs it wide through the chicane. Will they hit again? They won't. Clogg hits the tires, nearly has an issue collecting the car back up. He gives Sawyer a nudge. I thought he did in the 199, and Sawyer holds the lead. 2 car lengths between them. Back to the dirt again. Sawyer trying to pull away. Clogg sneaks to the inside. Depending on where you want to spot your apex for that corner will determine your line, of course, over the jump. And Sawyer looks like he had a better run through the corner with a later apex. Cross flags for Bryan Sawyer, the man from Wisconsin, ahead of Josh Clogg from Maryland. DeGiacomo, there, has rolled it in the 55, and Kirtley will take best of the rest for now with 3 laps to go. So he has jokered. DeGiacomo jokered on that first lap. So this battle, as DeGiacomo clobbers the curbs again. Kirtley into the wall in the 024, not missing anything up front. And Sawyer is perfectly extending track limits on the exit of 5 with the left side tires to the left of the sausage curb. And he is trying to pull away. The last lap was 0.2 faster than Josh Clogg in the 199. Was Sawyer in the 88. 45.4 to a 45.6. We'll take a look as they reset with 2 laps to go in heat number 3. 44.5 to a 44.9. Just for comparison, Robbie Kirtley crosses the line at a 45.6. And DeGiacomo will cross the line at a 47.6 with those couple of incidents that he had. So Sawyer trying to pull away. Right the ship. He began righting the ship last week in Norway until he took 3 jokers in the feature. So what else could go wrong for Bryan Sawyer? Whether it's in the feature or whether it's transferring. And the man from Wisconsin certainly looking good. If the mistakes were all put to bed. Coming to the white flag in heat 3. And we'll take a look at lap times once again. Looks like he pulled a slight gap, slightly bigger, I should say, over Clog, and he did. It was 0.6 of a second that last lap. Clog was a 44.915, Sawyer a 44.331. Robbie Kirtley was actually faster than Clog at a 44.8, and DeGiacomo 47.3. So when he hit the curbs, there must have been some suspension damage on that 845 Subi, number 55. Half a lap to go for Bryan Sawyer in the 88. It's not going to be a front row start as JC Simsport locked out those two with Magnus and Joey Morissette. But Bryan Sawyer trying to get the next best grid spot, which would be third, the inside of row 2. Final corner. Checkered flag. Heat 3 goes to Bryan Sawyer. Clog will transfer. Best of the rest, Kirtley and Joseph DeGiacomo.
Good luck, everybody.
Heat number 4, Marcos Palacio, Matty Grove, Jake Robichaux, Francois Martel. Hate to talk over everyone wishing good luck, but the gridding process for this one, fairly quick. Jake Robichaux, little bit of a jump start in the 69 as we go green. Marcos Palacio, huge jump over the Slapex cars. Remember, these teams battling in the team's championship, and Francois Martel all by himself in the 12, a privateer in this series. Palacio, closest to Mertz in the championship table, needs to win this heat race in order to gain an extra point on Mertz. As remember, Mertz only transferred. He gets 2 points versus Palacio. If he won, would get 3. But Matt Grove going to hang on to the 83 here. We always know Francois Martel, super fast, whether it is the lights or the supercars. And Jake Robichaux in the 69. Battle now, Grove and Francois, as I was just about to say, Marcos pulling away slightly. Francois to the inside of Matthew Grove, couldn't make it happen. Tire barrier juts out just a bit too far in turn number 5. Into 6. Struggle bus, Slapex, privateer of Martel, and then another Slapex car of Jake Robichaux. As Marcos Palacio does not joker, Grove does not joker, Francois does something different in the 12. And like we've mentioned so many times before, if it's a longer lap, get it out of the way, get it taken care of, and now you can focus on having clear track and knowing that you've got your slowest lap out of the way is Francois Martel in the 12. Jake Robichaux in the 69, going to be dispatched here shortly with Martel. Palacio still holding the gap. Robichaux runs it wide in the corner, misses the apex. And Martel in the 12. We'll take a look at lap times once they unravel here at the end of the second lap. Marcos for sure has gained time on Matty Grove in the 472. Grove will joker, so we'll take a look. 44.3 for Palacio. We're going to take a look at Grove to see will he hold the spot. He comes out between them. He's going to have the run on the outside of Francois Martel in car number 12. He takes the spot back. Martel the inside. This isn't over. Nearly contact between them. In turn 2, into 3, into 4. Martel got shoved wide from Grove as Grove missed the corner to the inside. Is he going to think about it? Door shut, contact nearly again between them. And Jake Robichaux likes this because if something happens between these two, he'll be able to scoop up this spot in the 69. Marcos has not jokered yet in the 83, so we'll take a look. He jokers now. As we take a look, will there be a battle? No, there won't. Martel to the inside again. No contact. Looks like it will be as we take cross flags, yet it is not between the 472 and the 12 of Francois Martel. What a battle between these guys. Grove was 0.8 up on Martel that last lap, but it was with that joker. Martel trying to find a way around the 472. Again, nearly contact. They're getting the closest you can without making any contact between these two. What clean and respectful racing here in NASA Rallycross Lites, and really the NASA Rallycross Challenge in general the past couple of seasons with our driver base. Martel the inside again, and he can't make it stick right when he needs to. Martel, contact with Grove, had to send it and into the tires. And the hilarious thing is he's still going as he did. Looked like it was a 720 and kept going. 2 laps to go for Marcos. We haven't missed anything. And despite the fact that Martell was just spinning. He was only a second slower than Matthew Grove. 45.9 for Grove, 47.0 for Martell. I guess 1.1 seconds was the difference, as we missed Jake Robichaux jokering a couple laps ago. So he almost had his wish with these two coming together. But despite Martell, like I mentioned, spinning, he is not affected, and he's already on the rear wing of the 472 of Matthew Grove, as Palacio exiting the dirt to come to the white flag here in heat number 4. So this will be the outside of row number 2 for Marcos if he holds on. But this is a duel for the 8th seed in Barcelona, and this battle's not done. Francois, commentator count of 3, confusing the name in the same heat race. Apologies there. Martell, Marcos, it all rolls off the tongue the same. Nearly contact again between these two. And Martell was 1.1 seconds up on Grove. Contact in the hairpin, and Francois is going to let him have it. Looks like the 472 crab walking, heavily crab walking with that left rear damage. Will he be able to get around the corner to hold this spot? I think Martell backed off. He's going to let him have it. Marcos Palacio wins heat 4. And will Martell send it on the inside? I think he knows Grove has damage. He does. So he will let Matthew Grove have it at the checkered flag. Martell best of the rest, along with Jake Robichaux. That's what you like to see. Good race, boys.
Great drive, Frank.
Semifinal A here in Barcelona. Jess Rakowski, Robbie Kirtley, Eric Dubois, and Joseph DeGiacomo. 5 laps, Joker lap once, and the winner will transfer out of this race. This should be a really good one for the 9th seed here in Spain. Green flag off the line. Kirtley gets a good jump compared to Rakowski. Rakowski will have the line into the first corner. Kirtley wide berth in the corner, and Rakowski holds the lead. Kirtley's got the run on the outside going into the second corner, but Rakowski will surge ahead and hold the spot. Kirtley runs the inside, has the grip. Doesn't look like the track crew has reset the track. Hopefully we can get that fixed before the feature. Rakowski will hold the spot. Kirtley in second. Dubois looks to the inside of the 024. His teammate for Zeem Setup Shop. These two 4th in the team's championship. And Joseph DeGiacomo in 3rd for 845 Subi in the team's championship. Rakowski loves this. Dubois into the wall in the 034. Again into the tires. He's going to get a slowdown penalty for cutting the track. So will he affect his teammate at all? And while these are the lower points paying positions, these two are battling in the team's championship, like I just mentioned. So every position counts. And especially because it's a 2-point difference depending on where you finish. Dubois to the inside of DeGiacomo. Checks him in the 55, in the 034, I should say. Will Rakowski Joker? No, she won't up front in the 999. Nor does Kirtley. Dubois will. So will DeGiacomo. Not a good strategy for the 55 as he's trying to chase down the 034. Runs it wide in the final corner. Rakowski clipped the curb in turn 2, and it compromised the entire run through 3, 4, and down to 5. As according to iRacing, only 10 corners on this track, but if you ask me, there's 11 or 12. But I digress there. Back into the dirt is Rakowski, the only female competitor in NASA Rallycross, like we've mentioned so many times before. But I think Diane Feldman signed up late in the week, so we might see the Australian back in supercars or even in lights here shortly in NASA Rallycross. Jokering is Rakowski in the 999. Kirtley will not, so he will take the lead in the 034, his last lap with a 45.5. So Rakowski 50.9, but that was with the Joker. Came out in front of Dubois and DeGiacomo. So we'll just have to wait and see when Kirtley Joker's in the 024. Will he hold the spot over Rakowski in the 999, or will she take the transfer back to be the 9th seed? And with one last lap, it's always a little bit more chaotic in the semifinals. Kirtley rounding turn number 6, 7, 8. Yeah, this track is, I would say, probably about 13 corners if you count every single apex. Kirtley does not joker, and I think he's hemorrhaging delta time at the moment. 44.9 to Rakowski, a 44.6, so 0.3 down. Dubois 45.3, and De Giacomo in the back of the field, 46.8. So coming to the white flag here in Barcelona. And it's usually a good idea at this track to joker on the penultimate lap just to make sure that you have that run down to the first corner. Curtly on the curb heavily. Thought he had something to say there in the 0.24. A lot like his teammate. Thinking he had something to say earlier on in the heat races. And Rakowski catching him in the 999. Will we see a joker from Kirtley? We will. This will help him. I don't think he'll hold the spot, but he'll get the run off the corner. Rakowski takes the white flag in the semi-final ahead of Kirtley. Dubois.
Oh yeah, nice race, Robbie.
De Giacomo, and I think Rakowski thinks the race is over in the 999.
Never mind.
As she did get corrected, and Kirtley...
Wait. Still green, still green, still green.
Kirtley was slowing down. Race control confirms
Jumping's hard.
the race is still going.
Jokers, laps, we all do it.
Bryan Sawyer over the scanner, just poking a little fun. And Jess Rakowski still holds the lead. I thought it was going to be a fourth consecutive week that something was going to go wrong for the driver from Maryland. Over the jump. And it looks like she will be our 9th seed this evening here in Barcelona. Best of the rest, 11th is Kirtley. 13th, Dubois, no!
Okay, there we go.
Dubois rolls it in the 0.34. He will not. He will not finish 13th. It'll be De Giacomo and then Eric Dubois after he is turtled in the final corner.
Well, I gotta start learning how to count to 5.
Semifinal B getting ready to go already. Gerald DeFino, Francois Martel, and Olivier Rateau. Green flag. Martel will take the lead as Jake Robichaux unable to grid contact with Martel and DeFino off the line. Jake Robichaux having issues and Eric Kaplinger having issues, so we only have 3 cars battling for this spot. On the outside, DeFino trying to take the spot from Martel. And I hate to say it after 2 corners, but unless Francois has a big issue, this race might be ran. It might be a battle between Rateau and DeFino, and even then on pace, it might be settled, but we'll just have to wait and see over the next 5 laps. Martel already pulled out to, let's call it a 4-car length lead from him to DeFino in the 845. DeFino clipped the tires on the exit of the corner there, down into turn number 5. Transitioning back to the asphalt. Rateau turns in a little bit too soon, and the elder Rateau over the curb. Might be track limits according to the sim. He might get a slowdown, but like I mentioned, just the pace disparity between these guys results in potentially a ran race. We'll just have to wait and see. End of the first lap. 1 minute 14.5 to a 1 minute 16.8. Rateau will joker in the 63. We'll get a lap time from him. 1 minute 23.730. And Martel clips the tires on the exit of the corner there, just like DeFino. DeFino puts it into the tires and has to stop the car. And I'm concerned if Olivier Rateau has some left front damage because he clipped that tire wall. Jake Robichaux was able to get on track in the 69, but he's going to be a couple laps down. Hearing that it's an internal race control scoring issue that they're trying to fix because he wasn't able to grid and it was not his fault. So Martel jokers, holds the spot. DeFino jokers in the 845. And race control, as Olivier Rateau is spun, entering the asphalt. Race control cannot fix this scoring glitch for Jake Robichaux, so he's sitting in second. Martel hits the tire barrier up the road. So second on the road for Robichaux. DeFino into the tires again, so this might be ran for the 69. We'll just have to wait and see what happens as we're coming to 2 laps to go for Francois Martel. His lap 47.847 with the joker. His lap ending after he took the joker 43.3. Let's see, Jake Robichaux crosses the line. It did not count that lap. 45.9. And let's see what Olivier Rateau will run in the 63. So we'll just have to keep an eye on the points on NASASimRacing.com just to see, as Robichaux back going again, or he spun, now he's back going again in the 69, as he had that damage, or had that incident. And Martel cruising, coming to the white flag here in semi-final B. Unless something catastrophic, famous last words from me, but unless something catastrophic happens, Francois will be the 10th seed here in Barcelona. 12th will be Defino. And Robichaux, like I said, I'm not sure what they're going to score him. He got back on track, unable to make the feature, of course, scored laps down, but I don't know if NASA officials will alter that scoring to put him behind the 63, but it looks like he has parked it in the 69, so he'll be at the back of the grid either way, it looks like. And remember, Kaplinger couldn't even take the grid as he had a system crash right before this semifinal. Checkered flag for Francois Martel, 10th and final seed. Told you nothing would happen with him. He's been out and away from the start. Very calm race. Defino will finish 12th overall, 14th Rateau, 16th Robichaux, and 17th Eric Kaplinger. The gridding process is over, the field is set, the feature race in Spain is next.
You're so interesting.
I love your browser history.
I like that you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
You are so special. This ad is just for you.
I learned so many things from you.
You are so generous.
With your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. Go to NordVPN.com. NordVPN. Safely be you.
Side nearly 3 wide of Met and Palacio. Front bumper of Abetti down to turn 2. Clog takes the lead. Real still has him jokered inside. Clog on McKenna. Contact between them. Well, Romain Rateau has led all evening long, but Schofield to the inside, and he makes it stick. Funny story about Bryan Sawyer. He showed up to the track 5 minutes ago with 0 practice, and each lap increasing in pace for the man from Wisconsin. Mertz deep on the brakes in the 812, clobbering the curve to get by Olivier Rateau. We welcome you back to round 8 of the championship overall and round 4 of the second season of NASA Rallycross Lites here in Spain. With Bryan Sawyer in the production truck, my name is Josh Mertz, up in the commentary box on the Automotive Sports Network. Just a reminder, our cameras for the entire season are provided by TrackCams22.com, and our intro music was produced by our very own Alex Abetti.
You need 2 jokers out of you this trip.
Gridding for the feature. Magnus Okenhaug, Joey Morissette on the front row.
Thanks for being patient. Good luck, guys. Have fun.
Bryan Sawyer, Marcos Palacio, Cody Crosgrove, Josh Mertz, Josh Klog, Matthew Grove, Jess Rakowski, and Francois Martel. 10 cars, 10 laps, 2 jokers, and calamity is guaranteed in this first corner in Spain. We go green in Barcelona, off the line. Sawyer gets a good jump, and he gets pinched by the JC cars down to the first corner. Contact all over the place. Sawyer in the middle, Mertz in the middle, 4 wide, Klog and Martel. Klog turned off the front bumper of Sawyer, and Martel involved as well. Down to the second corner, Mertz to the inside of Rakowski, pulling away as Magnus in the 26 ahead of Palacio. Sawyer. Mertz clears Rakowski. Crosgrove, Grove, Morissette, Martel, and Klog are back going again. Rounding the final couple of corners to officially begin the first lap in Barcelona. And it's Marcos Palacio trying to chase down Magnus Okenhaug in the 26. Sawyer sits in third, Mertz in fourth in car number 1. It's a miracle that Sawyer and Mertz were not taken out in that 4-wide schmozzle. Sawyer, huge run on his teammate Palacio, exiting turn 4 down to turn 5. Palacio surged mid-corner, nearly hit Magnus. Rakowski hanging on to the top 4. Then it's Crosgrove, Grove, Morissette, Martel, and Klog still trying to gain some pace back after the spin on the first lap. Over the jump for the second time. First joker decision. Magnus still leads. Marcos did that one again. Sawyer jokers in the 88. Rakowski in the 999. Where will they come out? They'll come out behind the Slapex cars. Will Sawyer and Rakowski. Rakowski in front of Martel. Sawyer on the outside of Grove. Down to turn number 2. And Sawyer holds the spot. Opens the door for Grove. Can't get it done. Magnus still holds it over Marcos Palacio in the 83. The count of me mixing that up this show is up to 4. Mertz surges in turn 5. Can't get it done. Grove to the inside. Clips the tires. I thought he was going to take the spot. And Martel looks like got into Rakowski. Klog into the tire barrier as well, just like Grove. And Rakowski did get hit by Martel. He let Rakowski through. Good move for the French-Canadian. Jokering is Marcos Palacio in the 83. So his strategy, I believe, is done in the 83. He gets passes his teammate. So now we'll keep an eye on Palacio. Will he get stuck behind Crosgrove, who has not jokered yet, in the 18? Magnus pulling away. It's a JC Simsport 1-2 currently. Then Slapex, Struggle Bus, JC Simsport, Slapex, and then Klog the Privateer, Sequential Simsport for Rakowski, Martel a Privateer as well. Those two battling for the 9th position. Sawyer way out wide trying to pass his teammate Palacio in the 83. And these guys squabbling might cost them against the JC cars, but we'll just have to wait and see. Magnus to the Joker in the 26. His first bit of strategy is taken. He comes out behind his teammate and Crosgrove in the 18 to the inside, and he takes the spot. I was going to say make it stick, but I took my words out of my mouth. Did Magnus in the 26. Crosgrove in the 18. As looks like Palacio has completed his strategy in the 83. As Mertz holding the spot in car number 1. Has not jokered yet. Magnus has a joker left. Crosgrove has not jokered yet. Sawyer jokered once. Palacio done. Grove's got a joker left, so we'll wait and see the rotation. Klog's got one left. Morissette strategy's done. Mertz jokers in the 1. So does Magnus. Sawyer cannot take the spot over Mertz in the 1. So Mertz's strategy's done. Magnus's strategy's done. Now, will we see some squabbling between Magnus and Sawyer? And if Magnus can get by Sawyer, will we see a little gamesmanship from the Norwegian? We'll just have to wait and see. And Crosgrove took his first joker. 4 cars under a blanket. Make it 5 with Palacio there. Grove holding off Morissette, Klog. Martel got by Rakowski. And the championship leader, Blue Plate, 1 win on the season in Knockhill, his 41st win. Looking for number 42 in the career overall. Takes to the joker again in car number 1. Cross flags for Bryan Sawyer. Well, will Mertz come out in relation to his teammate? He gets pipped by Palacio. Into the inside, Mertz goes, takes the spot on the 83 in the 1. Little giggle from Marcos Palacio there. I don't think he was expecting the one to take that spot. Will we see again a battle now between Magnus and Sawyer? This battle isn't over with Palacio and Mertz. Championship rivals. Palacio getting close, trying the over-under, can't make it stick. Cosgrove looking good in the 18. So is Grove. The Slapex car showing pace in the last couple of weeks. Magnus peeking to the inside of Bryan Sawyer in the 88. Back half of the field, not missing anything. Will we see a joker from Sawyer? We will not. The pressure will be kept up on Sawyer from Magnus in the 26. And Palacio trying to hang on to the rear wing of car number 1. Cosgrove strategy done. Grove has a joker left. Morissette strategy done. Magnus all over the rear wing of Sawyer now. Will we see a move down to turn 5? A little bit shallower line, there on Magnus. Had to touch the brakes. No pass yet. Marcos into the tires in the 83. He gets nuts by Cosgrove in the 18, and that might take him out of this battle. There's no might. It will. A huge amount of time lost. He got passed by Cosgrove and held up Grove in the 472. Coming to 3 laps to go. Sawyer yet to joker. So Magnus and Mertz 1-2 right now for JC Simsport. Technically, once Sawyer jokers. As the delta is not as big as you would think, despite it being a longer lap here in Spain. Last lap for Sawyer, 44.7, 45.2 for Okenhaug, 44.5 for Mertz in car number 1. Grove, Palacio, and Morissette, and by extension Clog, all battling. And this is for the 6th spot, it looks like. 5th spot, there. As Sawyer into the tires in the 88, Magnus has to back out. Sawyer takes to the joker. Magnus runs it wide, and Mertz takes the lead in car number 1. 2 laps to go for the defending champion, and out of nowhere leads in Barcelona. Sawyer 3rd. Now he's got to track down these JC Simsport cars with 2 laps left. Clips the curb, runs it wide, misses the apex. Clobbers it back for the chicane. Cosgrove in 4th. Palacio heavy damage on the rear of the 83. Now, will we see pressure? Magnus into the tires? As I say that, will we see pressure from Magnus to Mertz in car number 1? We'll just have to wait and see. Magnus is a part-time entry in lights for JC Simsport, so I don't know if he'll pressure the team owner. He's not going for the championship this season. Obviously, car number 1 with that blue plate. Hunting for a 2nd consecutive championship. White flag for car number 1. Got that monkey off the back after 4 years of being winless in NASA Rallycross. Looking for a 2nd win on the season. Magnus sits in 2nd, 3rd Sawyer, Cosgrove, Palacio. That running order has not changed. Half a lap to go for the defending champion, the Irishman. Winningest all time on the NASA Rallycross wins list, 41 career wins. Overall, that is. As like I mentioned before, we do keep scoring that way here in NASA Sim Racing over the jump. And I don't think Magnus is going to pressure him. Final couple of corners and win number 42 for Josh Mertz, winning in Spain over his teammate. Sawyer runs it wide, gets past, and he's off the podium by Cosgrove. 1-2 for JC Simsport. Cosgrove 3rd, Sawyer, Palacio, Grove, Morissette, Grove,
Good race, Marco.
Martel. Apologies, Clog, not Grove. Rakowski in 10th. Before we get confirmation on those LCQ results and the overall results, let's take a look and see what happened to Sawyer here. So he had a really bad jump, landed, bounced wrong, ran it wide, missed the corner, pulled the handbrake, and it just sent him wide. So missed the last couple of corners, and it costed him a spot. Bryan Sawyer off of the podium here in Barcelona. confirmation of the results. Josh Mertz, Magnus Okenhaug 1-2 with JC Simsport 1-2 finish. Cody Crosgrove, last step on the podium. Bryan Sawyer, Marcos Palacio, 4th and 5th. Clog, Morissette, Grove, Martell, Rakowski rounding out the feature order. Then it was Robbie Kirtley, Gerald DeFino, Joseph DeGiacomo, Olivier Rateau, Eric Dubois, Jake Robichaux, and Eric Kaplinger rounding out the field. The Drivers' Championship exiting Spain and heading to the U.S. for the first round in Atlanta. Josh Mertz, 13 points now over Marcos Palacio in the Drivers' Championship. And then 1 point back from Palacio is Crosgrove, and Sawyer and Grove rounding out the top 5. Teams Championship, TWR Struggle Bus 154, JC Simsport 148 after the strong 1-2 finish this evening in Spain. Slapex slips to 3rd, then it's 845 Subi and Zeem's Setup Shop. Just a reminder, our cameras for the entire season are provided by TrackCams22.com, and our intro music was produced by our very own Alex Abetti. Couple programming notes before we say good evening here on the Automotive Sports Network. The Overwatch Specialty Service NASA Rallycross Challenge will have the 5th round of the championship on Monday, the 17th of July, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, ASN Live. You'll join myself, Cody Erdman, Philip Krause, and Bryan Sawyer for that one. Supercars has been a thrill all season long. Our next round for NASA Rallycross Lites will be next Friday, the 21st of July in Atlanta as well, 9 p.m. Eastern on ASN On Demand. And then the second round of the Woven by Toyota NASA Sports Car Challenge will be at Rudskogen the 20th of July, 9 p.m. Eastern on ASN Live. You'll join myself, Justin Robichaux, and Bryan Sawyer for that one. The checkered flag falls on the evening. From all of us at the Automotive Sports Network, from Philip Krause, Cody Erdman, and Bryan Sawyer, my name is Josh Mertz, as we hope you enjoyed today's coverage of NASA Rallycross Lites tonight from Spain. Be sure to join us Monday evening for Supercars in Atlanta, but until then, so long everyone.